I'm Delaney Conant, and I'm the host of Energy Equalizer. I help others become the best versions of themselves and help create the right mindset for people to have a relationship with their self. On this podcast, you will hear about all things positivity, relationships, mindset, business, and more. If you're looking to live a fulfilling life and reach your fullest potential, this podcast is for you. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you a part of my audience. Before we begin, you already know the drill. We're going to get ourselves into a relaxed and inspired state. So take a deep breath, hold, and let out slowly. Now state aloud something you're grateful for. As always, I'll go first. I'm extremely grateful for my audience and everybody that supports me because it means the world. And I'm so glad that I get to help you guys and provide value. My main objectives are to provide value and make others smile, so I'm glad that I get to do that with you guys, and I love the support. The steps it took to love myself and build a healthy relationship with myself is what we're talking about today in this episode. So I'd say my self-love journey began around 2 years ago, and this happened because I was in such a bad state of mind. First off, I depended so much on my friends, and that always left me disappointed. I didn't even have a relationship with myself at all, and therefore I didn't love myself, and that was extremely hard because every single time I was going through something or anything like that, I always depended on other people, and obviously that's gonna leave you not fulfilled because you can't place expectations on people and depend on people. You have to be independent. And because I depended on people, it left me feeling very sad a lot, and I felt like I didn't have true friends, when in reality I just needed to depend on myself and not have expectations. I think the expectations I had on people ruined a lot of my friendships, but it all happened for a reason. And in a sense, I'm glad that it happened because it allowed me to step back and take time to myself and build that healthy relationship with myself. And fast forward, I'm in the healthiest and happiest relationship I've ever been in, and now I have friends that allow me to be my true self. That was like the first wake up call, was me feeling down all the time. Like I would just spend my day consuming on social media, and I literally cried all the time. I can't remember the last time. Like, I rarely cry now, which is I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like, if you cry, whatever, it's all right. Like, but me personally, like, I'm not a crier. So when I was spending a lot of time crying, I was worried because that's just not me. That was like my wake up call. I was like, why are people that, like, at the time, someone I had just met and my ex-boyfriend were my, like, people to go to. And I was like, this is messed up. Why are my, like, closest friends, or who I thought were my closest friends, why aren't those people the one supporting me? And anyways, that was when I realized, like, okay, you can't depend on the people around you, and you can't place expectations on people. One day, Alex Sedlak, who is my favorite influencer, he's my mentor, he popped up on my For You page, and I was like, damn, I really needed to hear that. I don't remember what the video was about specifically, but obviously it had something to do with self-love and self-improvement because that's where it all started. And this other influencer, Lars Josh, I don't really he doesn't really pop up on my feed anymore, but he always would post really cool content that always had really well put meaning to it. He would always write these long captions on them, and it motivated me to live life, enjoy life, and experience it for what it is, and build a real relationship with myself. It inspired me to actually get to know myself and do things that I love doing. And at the time, 2 years ago, I thought my life was going in a complete different direction. I thought I was going to play softball in college. I thought I was going to go to college and get a communications degree and be a sports broadcaster and all these different things. Once I started to dig deep into who I really was, these things started to change. It didn't change quickly. Like, I didn't even get full clarity on what I wanted to do with my life until like 6 to 9 months ago. Because I remember at the beginning of junior year in my English class, I put on this little star that we did that basically drew pictures that represented your dream life. I had put an NFL broadcaster as the main thing, and then in a little tiny space I put a hand with a heart in it, and that was to represent that I would have a side business to be a life coach. Yeah, so I didn't even really gain clarity till like really recently of what I wanted to do exactly with my life. I kind of had these like little ideas, so it definitely progressed slowly when I figured out myself, but those thoughts were coming in, and if I never would have took that first step, I would probably be going to college right now, or like planning to go to college, and probably committed to a team, and that's just what I didn't truly want. That's not what my life purpose was. I found that I am here for more than just going to school, working, and dying. I knew that I was here for more. I was here to make an impact. I was here to provide value and help others. And when I found that out, that's when my life truly changed, when I found my purpose. But I couldn't find my purpose until I took the time to become self-aware, know my values, my interests, and my abilities. And then once I loved myself, that's when I found my purpose. And it took a lot of work. It didn't just come to me. It took a lot of work. But when I figured it out, it felt right, and I knew that that was my purpose. When I first started taking these steps, so when I followed Alex and Josh, I was changing my diet, I was changing my habits, and I was on a good streak of self-development. I was working out a lot. I was eating good food, which I thought was good food at the time. It was like a bunch of vegetables, but now I realized that vegetables are a scam. It's better than processed food, but they are a scam. They're not as good for you as you may think. Meat is the prime food that you need to eat. Anyways, it was the intention that was there. I was on like a month streak of this good self-development. And of course, I hit a wall because it's inevitable, because motivation is not real. It's discipline and consistency that are the things that really matter. It comes down to doing things when you don't feel like doing them. And at that time, I didn't have discipline, so I gave up. And when softball season came around, I was in a bad lifestyle. I was hanging out with the wrong people, and all the work that I started to put into myself washed away. I began to look for validation in others, and I even got the chance during this time as like a wake up call to, this is who you are. This is a part of your identity. See me. And I saw it and I acknowledged it, but I didn't accept it. And the second I saw it, I started to deny it. And this affected my behavior even more. It affected how I treated people, myself, and overall way I lived my life. I would just go every day through the motions, and I was just coasting with life. I just let life push me around, and I never asked myself, what is life trying to teach me right now? So then that summer, once softball season was over, I again was hanging out with people that did not have my best interest in mind. I did not have good relationships at the time, and I was still denying who I truly was. Yeah, that made me not reach my fullest potential. It made me not be the best version of myself. And so ultimately, I wasn't truly happy. I put on this fake persona that, I'm so happy and my life is so good. But in reality, I really did not feel that way. It wasn't until the start of junior year when I really started my dialed in self-love journey. At the beginning of junior year, I had ended a relationship with someone that was holding me back and was just constant negativity in my life. I let that person go and I ordered my first book. I was like, if you would have told me a year ago at that time, if you would have told me that I ordered a book, I would have thought you were insane. Because I was like, who likes reading? Like, why would I read? But that's what school wants to teach you, is to hate learning. But in reality, you need to love learning, because that's the only way you're going to grow and be a better person. But besides the fact, I ordered my first book. It's called Belong. It's by Radha Agarwal. And I'm so glad that was the first book I read, because it was everything I needed. It's a super simple book. It's super colorful, so it's fun. You want to pick it up and read it. And it's not just a bunch of words. Like, there's over 20 exercises to implement into your life to gain self-awareness, to find the people you truly want to be in your community and your friend groups. And it was just everything I needed at the time. It's split into 2 parts. The first part is going in, so learning about yourself. And if I had not done that, if I had not gotten that book, I would probably still be lost, because that book was everything. That's how I really knew what my values, my interests, my abilities were. It was what I needed to understand what I wanted in a friend, what I didn't want in a friend, and who I needed to become to get those friends and attract those friends into my life. When I first got this book, I was still in the process of ending this relationship with this person. This person dogged me for it so hard, was calling me weird and all these things. And I was like, dude, no way. And this person would always just be so negative and would always be judging what I did. So I got that book as okay, maybe I need to change, and then called me weird for it. But anyways, that person will never be back in my life. But anyways, so I didn't read it right away. I only got probably a chapter in, and I stopped reading it for a couple months. And then I finally picked it up again, read the whole thing, did all the exercises in it, and holy shit, everything I needed. After reading this book, I went on a trip for fall break to South Dakota. This trip will always be super memorable to me because of this moment. I remember that trip. I had my own room, and it was isolated from everybody else because it was upstairs, and the only other room upstairs, this place was huge, and it was with my entire family. The only other room was up there was my dad's, and he was never in there unless at night. But I stayed a lot of time in that room at the beginning because not everybody was there, and I got to sit with myself and really think about who I was. I was very confused about the people I liked and who I was, and that trip was when I finally accepted myself for who I was. The thing that I had been putting off for 7 months, the thing I was in denial for 7 months, that moment right there was when I finally accepted it, and I was like, you know what? That's just who you are. Who cares what other people think? Embrace it. Embrace yourself, because that's the only way that you will truly live a happy life. And that's when I understood that. And so I accepted myself and I embraced it. Right after I did that, the amount of confidence I gained was insane. I was feeling myself. It's just, that trip will always stick with me for that reason. It's just awesome to be able to reflect on that and see how much you've grown, and see that if those moments didn't happen, you probably wouldn't be where you are today. And I just love that. After that happened, since I finally accepted myself, life decided to throw me a test, because every negative moment in your life is just a test from life, and you have to view it that way, because it really is. Same with failure. It threw me my first relationship in a while. Let's just say that I didn't really notice it while I was in the relationship, but after it, I noticed that it was a very toxic relationship. I ended up finding out that this girl cheated on me, but instead, it was amazing. Instead of getting down about it and being all on my feels about it, I took one day, to sit with those feelings, of sadness or disappointment or whatever you want to call it. I accepted them, let them pass through me. And the next day, I changed my perception around. That moment allowed me to learn to change your perception on things. And it allowed me to learn to always think positively no matter the situation. It was like an enlightening moment when I realized that life had put this person into my life on purpose. And it was to teach me and test me to see if all the work that I have done, if I would go back to my old ways, or if I was going to look it right in the eyes and be like, no, I am a new me and I'm not going back to that old self. That was one of my proudest moments, was being able to look at that relationship, realize that it was put into my life on purpose, and it allowed me to always think positively about everything, no matter how bad you may think it may be, because I knew better things were coming. But I'm not gonna lie, during that relationship, I had lost myself a little bit, but I regained that after. It taught me what I didn't want in a partner. It taught me that that wasn't true love. And so the next 2 months after that relationship ended, I decided to basically go completely remote from everybody except for like very few people, and grind so hard on trying to figure myself out. During this time, I got my second book, and it's The Mastery of Love, and that's one of my all-time favorite books, because not only do you learn how to love yourself, you learn how to love others and have a healthy relationship. And I just recommend that book to everybody, no matter if you're in a relationship or not. That book is everything. During these months, I was just on a self-love high. I finally gained clarity on the life that I wanted, the places I wanted to live. I gained clarity on so many things. It was a life-changing, those 2 months, January and February of 2022, were life-changing months for me. And because I spent so much time working on myself, it attracted my wonderful girlfriend into my life. And I'm so happy that I took that time to work on myself, because now I'm in the healthiest and happiest relationship I've ever been in, and I couldn't ask for more for my partner. And I'm convinced it's because I took that time to myself to truly love myself, because you cannot be in a healthy relationship if you don't love yourself. And that's facts. That is just facts. Because if you don't love yourself, how can you expect to give love to others? It just doesn't make sense. Also, during those 2 months, I bought my first ever course, and it was by my favorite influencer. So shout out to Alex and Create Your Reality, because that thing also changed my life and was a huge step in my self-love journey. This is a reminder to always invest in yourself. So many people will see courses or like coaching offers and see the big price tag, and sometimes it's not even that big. Like, I paid $250 for the course itself alone, and then paid another $250 to hop on a one-on-one call with Alex Sedlak and ask him anything I wanted. He gave me all this advice, like, for an hour. Like, that's insane amounts of value for only $250. Think about that. That's not that much money, but it's worth way more than $250. That is a steal. And honestly, he should be charging way more than that, just for even just the course itself. But so many people see these high price tags of coaching offers and courses, and they refuse to buy them. They think it's too much money or it's a scam. And I will never understand that, because think about all the money you spend on stupid shit. All the clothes that you're buying that you probably only wear once. All the fast food you're buying that just makes you feel terrible. And just all these random things that you don't need. Ask yourself, when you go to buy something, and don't get me wrong, it's okay to treat yourself at times. Like, I'm not saying not to, but be smart with your money. Ask yourself, is this gonna allow me to grow? Will buying this help me grow as a person? And investing into yourself is one of the best things you can do for yourself, because you're putting money into yourself to teach you things that you didn't know. and it really takes you to the next level. It's a one-time purchase. It's lessons that you'll take through your entire life. And just that one purchase, you can easily make that money back if you implement the things that the mentor is teaching you. So I will always take that to heart. Invest in yourself and ask yourself with the things that you're buying, will this allow me to grow? The rest is history, because the entire 2022, I did so many new things. I started posting content. I gained clarity on what I wanted to do with my life. I found my purpose. I found my wonderful girlfriend. I went to New York. I went to Alabama and Florida. And just so many good things happened in 2022. And I found my true friends. Every day, I continue to learn more about myself and fall in love with myself every single day. The journey is not over, and the journey is way better than the destination. So I'm glad that you guys are on this journey with me, and you get to see me grow as a person. And along the way, I get to help you guys as well. 2023 is going to be filled with so many accomplishments, and I'm so excited. I love you all so much, and I hope I was able to help you start your self-love journey, or if you're already on it, I hope I was able to give you some advice and guidance. Thank you so much for showing up today and listening to this episode. I'm so grateful that you are here, and I understand that your time is valuable, so I hope I was able to add some value to your life. I see you working to be the best version of yourself. Never give up and always have faith in yourself.